Context. How does having context help to lead and support people through a crisis? When you or your team, or even a community that you work with, is facing a crisis, you bring quite a unique perspective. You will be looking to the past to see what lessons can be learned for the future, to help us make decisions in the now based on what has worked or has not worked before. Take some time to look for clues from the past. It might be the recent or even more far-fetched history of an organisation or the history of a country that gives you clues as to how we can learn from that and make sure we don't either repeat the mistakes of the past or repeat the success of the past, which is what we want to do. There might be lessons from leaders in history. How did they lead in times of change and uncertainty? Read about them, learn about them, and replicate those in a way that feels authentic for you and your team. What hope can you draw from your own past experiences of those and maybe those close to you as stories to tell of how we can triumph in difficult times? Lean into those past experiences to help guide you through future troubles and concerns with a sense of hope and optimism. And friends and families who you might be supporting may have a real short-term memory when it comes to a problem that they're facing. We can often find it really difficult to remember previous success or previous outcomes because we're stuck and fixated with the crisis that we're in. Bring your focus from the past and remind them of how they've achieved before, how they've been victorious before, and how they've come through for good in the end. You will help remember those lessons from your memory and your rear view perspective, and it could give somebody a courage that they wouldn't otherwise find. You be their memory for them when they're struggling to find it. You know where someone is going is firmly linked to where they've been. So in a community that might be facing challenge and trouble, remind them of who they are and what they stand for. What is this community? Where have we won and been victorious in the past? What do we stand for? And what have we achieved in our history that comes before us? Pay attention and draw attention to those messages to encourage others that there is a way through in times of crisis and that we can know where we come from as a way to guide us towards where we are going. But do remember that sometimes emerging problems don't have a precedent. Do remember that sometimes these things haven't happened before, and we may need somebody with a futuristic or innovative perspective to bring balance to our lessons from the past. Be as innovative as you can as you bring that rear view perspective and push people towards the future.